Hi folks, you know what they say, all good things must come to an end. That is the simple reality of life, and this also applies to video conferencing equipment like the Poly Studio P21 here, which got an end of sale announcement a few months ago. The end of sale announcement was, in my opinion at least, kind of expected and came off the back of HP acquiring Poly last year, and it totally makes sense. It's only natural that HP and Poly would start streamlining their portfolio at some point. Now, before I go on into looking at potential replacement products, let me just say this about the P21. I really genuinely like it. I think it's sleek, I think it sits well on the desk, and it just makes the Microsoft Teams experience so much better for every single person on the call. So as you can imagine, whatever comes next has some pretty big boots to fill. So what is next then? Well, this one, the HP G4 conferencing monitoring series. There are 3 versions to choose between: a 24-inch version, a 27-inch version, and a 34-inch version. This bad boy here is the 27-inch version, and they all share the same or similar characteristics, with the exception of the 34-inch version, which has a curved screen. So, first impressions? Well, it has HP's DNA written all over it. Brown box, easy to install, no screwdrivers needed, and it fires up immediately. So good job, HP. Let's look at the video quality. This video is shot using my built-in webcam on my Lenovo ThinkPad. And this video is shot using the bolted-on camera on the HP conferencing monitor. You be the judge of which of these versions, in your opinion, is better. Speaking of the camera, I have slightly mixed feelings about it. The good news, of course, is that the camera is bolted on, meaning a complete end to webcams going missing. The slightly less good news is that I don't feel entirely self-pulling and tugging on the camera. I think I would have liked something that sort of sticks better to my fingers. I think the plastic that's been used here is just a little bit slippery. Then again, in reality, how often would you be sliding the camera up and down? And I think you would do it probably a couple of times and not that often. So it's not a biggie by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm personally just so used to cameras with a slightly more tactile, sticky feel to them. So folks, definitely a pass, but perhaps some feedback to the product team. Still focusing on the camera, you also have a tilt bar that's built into the camera, which is great, but in honesty, would you actually be using it? Because this is a screen that you can adjust upwards, downwards, and you can play around with it. And by the way, this is something I have to keep reminding myself with this particular screen. It's a screen, it's a professional display, meaning that you have all the versatility of being able to flip the screen around as you please. Obviously, with the software, you can adjust what the layout is here on the screen, but I think that is really, really versatile and brings value to, the conferencing units that you would normally have don't have this feature, and I like it. So let's look at the physical connectivity. There's one 3.5mm jack. There's a total of 4 USB-A ports. 2 on the side over here, 2 located at the back of the screen. There's a USB-C port, there's a display port, an HDMI port, and an RJ45 port. All very solid. Note that there's no Bluetooth connection for the headset built into the screen, so you would need to connect your wireless headset to your laptop. Here's the big question. Who would be best served by using this device? Well, here's my take. Given the relatively affordable price of the unit, around 500 euros excluding VAT, and sort of rugged feel to the unit, I would say that there are 3 prime use cases. First, you could buy these in quantity. I mean, they're not expensive at all, and use these as conferencing monitors for hot desking purposes and standardized on the G4 range, but you would need to supply people with headsets in busy areas where privacy is required. Or you could deploy these as conferencing screens for really small spaces like small meeting pods, because of the VESA mount on the back of the screen, and make the most of the very limited space available in these pods. The benefit, of course, with using it in pods is that it's soundproof and you wouldn't need to use headsets. Or finally, you could ship these to people who are working from home and who need something just a little bit better than laptop screens and a camera. Here's the deal. As long as you remember that this is first and foremost a display with conferencing capability and not a video conferencing unit, you can deploy this unit in very large quantities. I mean really large quantities if you want, and not have to worry too much about things like support and maintenance. So, there you have it. If you enjoyed this video, why not consider following us on LinkedIn, as we're posting videos and product reviews like this on a regular basis. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end, and have a fantastic rest of the day.